Welcome back to the Ryan Dunston Podcast, Words from a Humble King. Man, it's been a while, but normally when folks sit down in front of a microphone, you know what they're about to say, right? They're about to tell you how they made it. And you know these kinds of folks, right? They tell you how they overcame, they give you these principles, they tell you how they healed, they tell you how they built it, how God came through, how everything worked out. And I think everybody can be guilty of this in some ways, but this isn't that conversation. Here's the how I'm still walking conversation. But no, seriously. I think I'm learning some things along the way. And as I discover more and as I live through all of this, what seems to be this never-ending valley, I think I'm learning how to live before the breakthrough. Now, the reason I say learning to live before the breakthrough is because honestly, I believe social media has done us dirty. And to the point where it's conditioned us to believe life only has two seasons, the before and the after. I think you all know the cliches: before I lost the weight and after I lost the weight, before I started the business and after I became successful, before I met my spouse and then after I met my soulmate, before, the miracle and after the miracle. Everything is before or after, or maybe even both. But nobody's talking about that daunting middle. And I think that's where most of us actually live. Not at the finish line, but somewhere between the promise and the outcome. Somewhere between believing and seeing. I honestly believe it's also somewhere between praying and God actually providing a level of understanding. And if we're being honest, the middle is where most people are, but also where most people quit. And Lord knows I felt like quitting more than a few times. And God says He gives you authority over your dominion and authority over your mind and authority over your circumstances. But that just kind of makes you feel crazy when you're along the journey. But the more I walk this thing out, the more I'm realizing authority doesn't come from knowing all the answers. Authority is actually exploration, right? As a matter of fact, the older I get, the less interested I am in being one of those people who just simply act like they have all the answers. I just think that's fake. I'm way more interested in people who just simply refuse to stop asking honest questions and to stop walking. I don't think people are looking for another expert anymore. I don't think people are looking for more principles. Because if you're like me, you're sick of those type. You want somebody to walk along the journey with you. The unauthentic folks that offer advice that just seems to be missing real truths, that simply does not allow realistic implementation given your specific circumstances. It just lands you at, okay, so how do I implement these principles? Or they just simply don't understand my specific circumstances, right? I think people are looking for somebody who can just honestly say, me too, right? Not I understand. Nah, I'm talking about I feel you. And I think that's a difference. I'm not talking about someone that just wants to come in and give you the answer. I'm talking about people coming in and bumping elbows with you. Because questioning it together allows for answers. And then I don't believe that's misery-loving company. I think that's more so empathy. And I mean real empathy. The kind that doesn't have to study how to care. It just does. It just sits there with you. Right? No pressure, no fixing, no pretending, just presence. The type of presence that just is. And man, I think that's authority. That's authority and exploration along the journey. Not because you know everything, but because somebody believes you when you say, I know what that feels like. And with as long as it's been since I've done my last recording, I think that's the reason why. Because I haven't had it all figured out. And I think for the first time, honestly, that's okay. Maybe it's because I haven't figured it out. Maybe it's because somebody's listening to this feeling like they're losing their patience, being stretched beyond capacity, feeling like they're about to lose their minds. Maybe someone feels crazy for still believing. Maybe that may be you. And I just want to let you know, you are being stretched. You're not crazy, but you are growing. But I feel you. Now I'm going to give you all some transparency here. There's a little bit of self-doubt on this one. Well, let me rewind. Give you guys some more transparency. There is a lot of self-doubt on this one. Because I've just simply been wrestling with myself and with God for a good while now, due to some personal things that have not all the way ironed out. And I've struggled with whether or not I should hit record, because part of me just kind of keeps asking, who am I to encourage anybody right now when I'm still trying to encourage myself in certain moments, pulling myself out of self-doubt, encouraging myself to take the next step. I haven't figured everything out. I haven't reached the destination. And if I couldn't get my own kids to trust me, or if I haven't accomplished the goals that I've written down years ago, why should anybody listen? You know? Those are thoughts that are very real, but also very condemning in a sense. But I will say, here's what's also weird. I keep getting these nudges, these little moments that just beam through other thoughts that says, release it, record, just hit record. Not because it's perfect, not because you've had all the answers, but because maybe somebody doesn't need perfection. Maybe they just need honesty. And when I think about it that way, it's actually realistic, right? And maybe they need the honesty now. I don't know if that's God or if that's just me trying to make sense of all of this, but I'm still trying to figure it all out. But I do know two things. Number one, I'm here. Whether or not I like it or not, I'm here. I'm still here, and I have to learn how to be here. And I have to learn how to be productive while I'm here. I have to thrive while I'm here. And I think that it's very important. And then number two, I can't think of one mistake that God has made in my life. Now, have I disliked some of his decisions? Some of his delays, some of his choices for my life beyond my say-so? Beyond what I would have chosen for myself? Yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we've had some conversations, and I will say, growing up with God outside of the church with no tradition or ritual, I come boldly, let's just say that, and wholeheartedly. But making a mistake, nah, I gotta give him that. Even in the midst of my turmoil. This episode isn't about figuring it all out. Maybe it's just supposed to be released. Tell me if it's me, but have you noticed people are carrying something heavy?
A poll from the American Psychiatric Association finds 2/3 of adults surveyed are feeling anxious about the state of the world right now. 62% are worried about their safety and the safety of their families.
I mean, everybody, in some way.
A new report finds that 25% of American adults suffering from a mental illness aren't receiving treatment. The study was conducted by Mental Health America, a nonprofit which advocates for mental health awareness.
And I'm not trying to compare pain. I don't think pain works that way. But whatever people are carrying these days, I just feel like it's noticeable.
Who is chased by ICE agents as she heads home.
Searching for a suspect who they say assaulted a taxi cab driver with a chain while attempting to carjack him near Port.
A Grand man has been charged in a road rage incident captured on camera.
The temperature is very high.
A mother gets shoved to the floor in front of her children.
I'm from Winston-Salem.
We have now a fuller picture of what occurred over just minutes when an initially non-violent encounter turned deadly.
We are learning more now about the woman who was killed in Minneapolis today.
I think people are impatient. I mean, people are tired. People are anxious. People are grieving things they never talk about. People are financially exhausted.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Emotionally stretched, spiritually confused, politically confused. Some are afraid of the future. Some are disappointed by the past. You know, I think some people are finding it hard to trust one another again. Some have spent so much time performing online, myself included, that we've forgotten how to be honest offline. And that's a contribution to social media. And I think it's very strange that we have adapted to live in this manner. Because everybody's highlight reel is running at the exact same time, while somebody else is wondering if they can make it through the week. That's a strange world to live in. So what do? I think we hide. Some people hide behind their success. Some people hide behind humor. Some people hide behind ministry. Some people hide behind money. Some people hide behind busyness. You know, you just don't have to focus on it when you're busy. Some people hide behind confidence. But underneath all that, I think a whole lot of us quietly wonder, what is going on, or am I enough? And I think bringing it back to me, there have been days I've questioned whether I heard God correctly. And they are very miserable moments, because you walk out on faith. And blame it on culture, because they love it to convince you that you're crazy and you don't know what you're talking about. You wonder if all of it's worth it. Is my effort worth it? Days I've watched everybody else's life seem to move while mine felt stuck. Days I've encouraged other people while secretly wondering if anybody was left to encourage me. You wonder. Now don't worry, this ain't where I'm going to give you all 10 Christian cliches. This is not church by a long shot. And I think people are exhausted by all that. Right? No right or wrong answers today. I've already said that, but just discovery and exploration. I'm working this out too. So here's the questions I've been sitting with myself. What if courage and faith was never about the absence of doubt? Thought about that critically. What if faith wasn't pretending you don't have questions? Man, I swear, church, make you think that. What if faith is continuing while you're doubting? Right? I don't know. I'm still in the middle, but I'm not afraid to ask these questions. I don't know. I'm still in the middle, but that's where I am. And maybe that's enough for today, because I've noticed something. We only celebrate the unfinished stories, right? Finished recovery, finished healing, finished businesses, finished marriages, finished testimonies, finished goals. I don't know, man. I just feel like everything has to be finished in order for us to discuss it. But if God only showed up in the finished places, we'd all be dead. Maybe he does his best work in the construction zones. Maybe unfinished isn't failure. Maybe unfinished is exactly where transformation lives. Maybe the valley isn't proof that God has left. Maybe it's actually where he teaches us to keep walking. I'm no Bible scholar, but if you get a chance to look at that book, I'm pretty sure you'll see some folks that just simply kept walking. Some imperfect people that kept walking. It's a book of drama, by the way. But I think that's a difference here. I think the longer I live, the more I'm convinced life is lived unfinished. Because when it is finished, then I feel like our work is done. So maybe we've been waiting too long to help each other. Maybe I don't have to be fully healed to encourage somebody. Maybe you don't either. Maybe I can motivate you, and you can also motivate me while you motivate someone else. Maybe we stop pretending and start walking together. Maybe there's more power in saying, I don't know how this ends, but I just simply know what helped me through today. You know, I think one of the biggest reasons I've struggled to record this is because I think we've been measuring growth all wrong. I believe we've been measuring destinations while God may be measuring formation. As difficult as that may be to hear, I think we've been measuring accomplishments and God might be measuring endurance. I know it's not what I want to hear, but it's real. We've been measuring applause. God might be measuring obedience. Maybe growth isn't becoming someone everybody applauds. Maybe growth is becoming someone you barely recognize because of what you survived. You're earning your stripes, as am I. So if you're waiting for your life to finally begin, maybe today is life. If you're waiting until you're confident, maybe confidence isn't the requirement. If you're waiting until you stop the doubting, maybe you'll wait forever. So maybe, I don't know, just maybe today, we keep walking. We take one more step, not because we're certain, but because we're still here. We've already made it this far. And if tomorrow's coming either way, we might as well keep walking, honestly. And I know that that's not, that it's going to end tomorrow's speech, but I do believe it is funny that the more I walk, the more I realize this episode became my mirror. Maybe that's what all of us need every now and then. Not another motivational speech, not another expert, just an honest conversation that reminds us we're still walking. And today, I think that's enough. This is the Ryan Dunston Podcast, and these are words from Ron King. Peace.